So what's up, everybody? Yesterday we went ahead and we reviewed the first three Terminator movies, and well, as I said, third movie is the beginning of the decline in quality for the series, and unfortunately, Terminator Salvation and Terminator Genisys are by far the worst in the series, and let's start things off with Salvation. Released on May 21st of the year 2009 and directed by Mick G. No, I'm not kidding, that's actually his name. Look it up, I swear to God, I'm not kidding. Terminator Salvation follows the future war between humans and machines, and at the center of the human resistance lies John Connor, who is caught off guard when he meets a man named Marcus who was not in the future that he was told of. Marcus may be the key to taking down Skynet, so when John Connor figures this out, John Connor teams up with Marcus to go ahead and take down Skynet and end the Terminators once and for all. So let's get this out of the way. I don't like Terminator Salvation. Now, as to why? It comes down to a couple reasons, and that's mainly due to the fact that the movie is bland and the characters are unoriginal. The characters are bland. But I won't lie, this movie has some really good ideas. What I mean that this movie has some cool ideas is, well, the casting of Christian Bale as John Connor is a great idea, and Sam Worthington's character Marcus is also really interesting because he believes he's a human, but when it turns out that he's a machine, his emotions fly through the roof, and that's the thing. The Terminators aren't built to have emotions. With good ideas, there are also some bad ones, like deciding to make an entirely CGI rendered Arnold Schwarzenegger from the Terminator from the other movies. Yeah, he's CGI in this movie, and no, just no. Oh God, this looks awful, and I'm not lying. This looks terrible. This doesn't even look real. This looks like a freaking video game straight out of the Xbox or PS3. So, okay, CGI sucks for this movie, but I mean, what's one thing that... Okay, so aside from the ideas, what else is there that's positive? So, aside from the ideas, what does this movie have that's positive? The action. The action is good. It's well shot and well choreographed, but unfortunately it does fall flat because the characters are so bland and unoriginal that the action feels tensionless. So, overall, this movie has bland characters that don't pan out, ideas that could have worked out so well, but they didn't, obviously. Decent action, but it's not good at building up suspense for the action or anything like that, so therefore the movie feels tensionless, and to be honest with you, this movie is very forgettable. I'm going to give Terminator Salvation a 4 out of 10. So, with the studio that brought us Terminator Salvation, they were hoping that that movie would have been the salvation of the Terminator franchise. It would revitalize it. Well, no, that's not the case. It took us 6 years before we got a new one, and was it worth the wait? To an extent, but let's not worry about that right now. Let's get into the specifics. Released on June 25th of 2015 and directed by Alan Taylor, Terminator Genisys has the same plot as the original Terminator, except this time, Sarah Connor is a freaking badass already and has her own Terminator, and that when Kyle Reese is sent back, the only Terminator he has to fight off is one that is disguised as John Connor. So, with Terminator Genisys, do I like it more than Salvation? Yes. Do I like it more than the rest of the other three movies? No. I like Terminators 1 through 3 more. But why is this movie better than Salvation? Well, it's simply due to the fact that it's nostalgic and it tries to recapture the original Terminator feel while giving a new twist to it. This movie does feel a tiny bit nostalgic because of the fact that they recreate some scenes and change events of certain scenes from the first movie. And with characters such as Sarah Connor, Kyle Reese, and even the original Terminator from the 1984 movie back, it all feels very nostalgic. So with Terminator Salvation, the movie had a big problem with characters, and with Terminator Genisys, I don't necessarily think that the characters are bad. Sure, some of them are bland, but they aren't exactly as bad as Terminator Salvation. Now, with Terminator Genisys, I do have one big glaring problem with the movie, and that's why it keeps this movie somewhere towards the middle when it comes down to the rating for this movie. And my big problem with this movie is the fact that it screws up the continuity of the entire series. So, you'll enjoy Terminator Genisys, but since because of the fact it screws up the continuity of the rest of the series, I'm going to give Terminator Genisys a 6 out of 10. So, there we have it. We just over the past 2 days, we just went through the entire Terminator series. Overall, the series is good. Though it has two of the best action movies in history, the other movies aren't necessarily as bad. Like, they're worth a watch. I even say Salvation is worth a watch if you want conclusion to the entire Terminator storyline. But yeah, this is just it's a weird group of 5 movies, and with the 6th one coming out, I'm wondering how that's going to end up being. Is it going to be better than Genisys? Worse? Is it going to be the worst? Is it going to be among the best? I don't know. But it's for another day, for another time. Well, that's it. Hope you guys have a good day, evening, night, afternoon, dawn, dusk, twilight. I'll see you all next time.